Okay, so the next problem we are solving the lead code is reverse linked list. Okay, so let's say that we have given this linked list and we'll have to reverse it, and we'll have to return the head node of this. Okay, so like so the first approach that we can think of is we can just iterate through it and collect it in a list, right? Normal list, and we can reverse it and build a new linked list by adding it to it, right? So that we'll get a new linked list with the reversed order. That we can do, but not a recommended way here, right? Like to for the time complexity and everything, and not even a correct approach also. Okay, so now, right, how to do it without actually with the best approach, without iterating again and again, right? We'll have to do it within a single iteration, okay, with a often time complexity. So what we can do is, let's say that if at some point what we are basically doing is we'll have to reverse the direction, correct? One is currently pointing to 2, but we'll have to reverse it, correct? Similarly, 5 is 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 3 2 to 1, right? If we are able to do that, it means that we are successfully able to reverse the linked list. Okay, so now what does it mean? Let's say that if I want to point it to this, right, 2 node, we should be pointing to this, correct? When I do that, I shouldn't be losing this information, correct? So because I should also be keeping track of it, correct? So let's say that I am at this point node 2. Okay, so I will point this node to the 1, and maybe 1 to the none. Okay, when I do that, in the same time I need to make sure that I still have the information for this. Okay, so that is the main thing, that if we are good with that, we can easily solve the linked list here. Okay, so basically we'll set the, when we want to, let's say that when I am saying that when we do this, we'll have to keep track of it, right? We'll need one node to store the previous node, and our node will be pointing to somewhere here. We are iteration, when during the iteration, if you want to swap this, right, our head node will be pointing to this, so that we don't lose any of the further nodes, right? Our node will be pointing to this. And if we have one more variable, or if we have one more variable to store the previous node also, we are good, correct? So once we are here, we can just point it to this. Okay, so the arrow is reversed, and we can update our previous to this one. Okay, so our head is here, we didn't lose the information, and also we are able to successfully reverse the arrow, reverse point to this. Okay, so if you just check the implementation, right, we need one variable to store the previous node. Okay, now because we don't want to lose any information, right? That's why. Okay, so we'll start an iteration when we are at 1. And okay, and we'll store it in a temp node somewhere, because we don't want to lose any information, so we'll just store it in a temp node. Okay, and now we'll move to the next node. We'll point our header to the next, so that we can continue iterating for the next one, right? Well, head and temp head is equal to head dot next. Okay, and if we simply move it to the head dot next, who will reverse it to this, right? So that's why we had stored it in the temp node, correct? Okay, so we'll store it here. Okay, head is pointing to the, already pointing to the next. Okay, it is already waiting for the next iteration. And now what we'll do is, what is our task? We'll have to point it to the previous node. Previous node is none, because we need the tile node to be none, right? So we have set it to none. Okay, and temp node dot next will be equal to none. Okay, and now what will happen? We have pointed, one is pointed to none. Okay, now our header is pointing to this one, correct? And now what is the thing we need to do here is sorry, so what we're trying to do here is, so yeah, currently our head node is here, right? It is pointing to this, and temp node is here, right? Temp node is pointing to here, correct? And previous node is none. Okay, it is somewhere behind it. Okay, so now what we'll have to do, head is already pointing it, right? So once we move our head, we'll also have to update our previous, because one we updated to none, we'll also have to update 2 to 1, right? So previous was none before, now it should be 1. So previous will be to the temp node. We'll be just iterating through it again and again. Well, head, and we'll be storing the temp node, and we'll move the head to the next pointer, next node. Okay, and then reverse the pointer. This is where we'll be reversing the arrow. Okay, and then we'll update the references, so that we can use it in the next iteration and point the 3 to 2 or 4 to 2, 4 to 3, like all like that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.